Hello, it is I, your boy Gomi, and we are back with some more UFC. It's been a little bit, we had a little break, but it's been an even longer bit since we had actually a good card. Is this card necessarily good? It has a great and very important main event. I think it's an okay card so far, but basically it's way better than 301, and it's way better than these crappy fight nights we've been shoved down our throats. Is it on the level of 300? No, but you know what? It's good. It's a good card. It's a good pay-per-view, one that I'm very, very much excited for. So let's waste no time and get into this card. First fight is actually a short notice replacement, Andre Lima. He was supposed to fight this name over here. He's actually now fighting Mitch Raposo. I don't know enough about Mitch Raposo to really say. I was picking Lima initially, to be honest with you, and it looks like people are still staying on Lima. I've seen a little bit of Mitch Raposo, but not enough to really say much about it. So I'm not going to tentatively say what you should go with this one. I'm picking Andre Lima, but he's a minus 218 favorite, so whatever the case is. So the first fight I will be going over is Perez versus Jocelyn Edwards. I know both are winning. I don't like either fighter, though, if it makes sense. Perez is only on a 2-fight win streak. She lost her UFC debut to Stephanie Egger. Jocelyn Edwards, on the other hand, coming off that bad loss to Nora Cornhole. I don't think Nora Cornhole is very good. Ugh. Also, by the way, that is not right. She actually has 5 losses. But before her last loss, she was on a nice win streak. The main thing about this fight, though, I'm going to say, is just Jocelyn Edwards is just a technical kickboxer, and that's really it, while Perez can mix in the grappling, mix in the wrestling, and I think she could just make it more of a dog fight, per se. The fight is almost assuredly going the distance. Jocelyn Edwards has not had a single fight in her career at the UFC that's not gone the distance, and Perez is on a 2-fight decision win streak. Like I said, her UFC debut, she had lost, and she lost by submission. I don't know. I'm not hyped for this fight. I think decision and over 2.5 are going to be your best bets, per se, but if I had to pick someone, I'm gonna go Perez. I'm gonna go with the better grappler. Not by much, though. And then Mickey Gall will be taking on Bassil Hafez. So, I've done this thing quite a few times where you had this guy make a short notice debut and then they look really good. Like you thought they'd get destroyed, but they looked actually pretty decent. And you're like, oh snap, they might be good. And then they get absolutely annihilated. The only time that didn't happen where a guy looked really good in their debut and actually ended up being really good was Diego Lopez. Diego Lopez looked pretty good against Movsar Evelev, even though he lost, and now Diego Lopez is on a rampage. Bassil Hafez made a short notice debut, a week debut against Jack Della Maddalena, and he looked good. Now, people saying like that fight should not have been a split decision. Some people even thinking Bassil Hafez won that fight. You're dumb. You're dumb. He did not win that fight. He just looked decent. He looked decent, and it's a guy who will more than likely be challenging for the title. But now Mickey Gall, I don't believe Mickey Gall is very good. I think Mickey Gall, he's like, I don't want to say his time is up because he's still pretty young. He's only 32, entering his prime. But coming off a 2-fight losing streak, one to Alex Morono, who I'm not very high on, but we'll be talking about later actually. And then the other to Mike Malone. Yeah, round 1 KO for Mike Malone. That's not good. He's been around the UFC for a little bit, but he's just done nothing but really pick up losses against not even really good guys. Like he lost, I believe that was a fight where Mike Perry had only his his girlfriend in the corner, actually, believe it or not. He got knocked out by Sanchez. I believe he got beaten up by Randy Brown. He just doesn't have really good wins. Like his best win is against Sage Northcutt years ago. So I'm gonna be taking Bassil Hafez. He did seem to have some good power to him, but not enough that I can really confidently say he'll knock out Mickey Gall, to be honest with you. And Basil Hafez, if anything goes even remotely wrong going off the Jack Della Maddalena fight, he really relies on his grappling, and his grappling is not, it's not good enough. It's good, but it's not good enough. He's going to be shooting a lot of takedowns. I picture there's going to be a lot of takedowns and a lot of grappling in this fight. But just Basil Hafez, I don't know how well he's going to do completing them, but I still think he should be able to put on enough pressure and more than likely beat Mickey Gall to a decision. I initially had Hafez KO, but then I watched more of his fights. I just don't think he's going to be KOing him, to be honest with you. Next fight. I can't click on it. Okay, well, it's Nico Price versus Alex Morono. I don't know why UFC does these rematches that just nobody gives a shit about. It's a really weird rematch between really mid guys. Like, I'm not a big fan of Alex Morono, but Alex Morono's got some pop to him. I feel like it's dissipating a little bit. Nico Price, on the other hand, Nico Price is always like, he's been a wild and crazy fighter, kind of like an early Michel Pereira. But the thing is, Nico Price just doesn't have the chin for it. He simply doesn't. He's knocked like that. The main thing that concerns me for this is Alex Morono at least still hits pretty hard, but Nico Price got one tapped by Robbie Lawler. Yes, Robbie Lawler was known for his power back in the day, but that wasn't a power shot. He just hit him with a light uppercut, and Nico just died, just death, just crumbled. It's weird. I think Nico Price's chin is gone, but main reason his chin is gone is because they've thrown him to the ringer. They really have. He's been thrown at a murderer's row, honestly. Lawler, Rowe, Cowboy Oliveira. He fought Michel Pereira, I mentioned as well too. I believe he fought Jeff Neal as well too. I know he did. Jeff Neal starched him, I remember. Luque, Randy Brown, Tim Means. He's fought everyone that's been like either a bottom 15 or fringe top 15 fighter in the welterweight division, to be honest with you. And it wears on you. It wears on you, especially since most of these guys are knocking you out. The only guy who didn't knock him out was Michel Pereira, but that was welterweight Michel Pereira, where he was a decision machine. I think Alex Morono is going to be able to find the power shot and be able to knock him out. So I'm going to go Alex Morono by KO. Also, it's worth to mention, technically Nico Price won the first fight, but it was overturned. I don't remember why. And now, Phil Rowe versus Jake Matthews. This is an interesting fight. Jake Matthews, a lot of people are like, oh, he's really good. Like, a lot of people are trying to convince themselves they jump in the top 15 to welterweight, which he still absolutely can do. He's still young. He can still do it. But I just don't see it. We've seen him fight one top 15 fighter, and yeah, it didn't go very well for him and Sean Brady. I think Jake Matthews is a solid striker. I think he's got that. He's pretty dog, but I think Phil Rowe is going to be able to just piece him apart from distance. That reach advantage is going to be just too much for him. Phil Rowe picked up a loss to Neil Magny, yeah, but it did show some good ability from him, showed some good skill, and it showed that he could fight long, and that's really going to be the key for this fight. He's just fighting very long, avoiding the power shots of Matthews, and I think he can piece him apart over 3 rounds. It's just that I do like the power of Matthews more. And he does have very good submission game as well, too. He can definitely take it to the ground. The long limbs will make it difficult to get submissions, but I'm going to go with Jake Matthews by decision. I was initially leaning towards Rowe, but I'm going to swap up on the fly and go. Like, I kind of talked myself into Matthews by decision, to be honest with you. But I could also see a submission as well, too. I know Rowe's not been submitted. I don't believe he's been submitted. Yes, he's never been submitted. But I feel like Matthews could get like a heel hook or something like that. That just speaks to me. Oh, well. Grant Dawson versus Joe Solecki. I think Dawson's going to make a comeback. Dawson, he needs to make a comeback after that just absolutely brutal and awful showing. He got one-tapped basically by Bobby Green. Bobby Green, a guy not known for his power, and he got one-tapped by him. That's just not a good look. Before that, Grant Dawson was going through some tough guys like Damir Ismagulov, and he was taking him out. Like, he was showing some very good skill. It was not maybe so taking them out, more so he was beating them. He was beating guys. He has quite a bit of finishes. I definitely think Grant Dawson has the better grappling advantage. I think he even has probably the better striking advantage. The thing is about Joe Solecki is it's submission or bust for him. I don't think he's going to be winning a decision against Dawson. That's the thing, because Grant Dawson will get the better of the grappling exchange in terms of wrestling. Joe Solecki needs to force it to get a submission. He needs to maybe drop him, club and sub him. That's the thing. The only reason I could see Grant Dawson losing this fight is if he's still in his head after that green loss. After that, like, he's probably still in his head or something like that. But otherwise, Grant Dawson should absolutely be able to beat Joe Solecki. He has just way more tools. He has way more tools than Joe Solecki. He is a minus 400 favorite, so I don't want to bet him, and I wouldn't suggest betting him because that could lead you down a slippery slope of trusting the guy who just had a catastrophic and devastating loss, and his confidence might be shot. Plus, also, I think it's going to be a decision for Dawson, so I don't like betting minus 400s to win by decision. But there we go. Grant Dawson decision. Cesar Almeida versus Roman Kopylov. I really, really, really like Roman Kopylov. I really do. But Cesar Almeida, that boy's scary. That boy beat Alex Bejeda in kickboxing. Yes, he did. That boy he's very efficient. He's very vicious. He's got a ton of power. Kopylov, on the other hand, has also a ton of power. He does have that wrestling in the back pocket that he doesn't use very often, but he has that. I know Kopylov got devastated by Fluffy Hernandez in a relatively boring affair, to be perfectly honest with you, but I definitely can see maybe perchance Romy Kopylov can get in the groove, get in his because he takes a while to like get set up and start going and finding his combos and finding his distance. But when he does that, when he gets in there, he will beat you up, he will destroy you. But again, he can, like, the grappling is really the only issue for Kopylov. Cesar Almeida, he ain't grappling nobody, he's trying to knock him out. But that's the thing, Cesar Almeida, like, if Roman Kopylov takes too long to get in his groove, Cesar Almeida is going to piece him apart and he's going to take him out. So it's very close for this fight. The odds have shifted and now Almeida's the favorite. Ooh, wow. When I did this, I was picking the underdog, which is Almeida, at minus 105. He's jumped up to minus 112 now. So I think that was my only dog I was picking. I'm trying to see. Nope, I have one. But yeah, I'm going to be taking Cesar Almeida to win this fight. I'm going to go, I don't want to say knockout. I'm going to say decision. You're going to be like, Cesar Almeida going to decision. He's done it before. And Kopylov is too tanky. Kopylov has not been knocked out. So give me Cesar Almeida by decision. Next, we have Randy Brown versus Oleksiejczuk dos Santos. They've added that. That was not there before. It was always Oleksiejczuk dos Santos. Did they add that? Like, what is with the Brazilians just adding more to their names or changing their names? So many of these Silvas ended up being like Lacerda or something completely different. Oh, well, regardless. I don't like this fight. Randy Brown is coming off that really, really, really good knockout win over was Muslim Salikov, I believe it was, which I called that, by the way, and I was just shocked that I got that. That was one of those shots you fire in the dark and you're like, oh shit, well, that hit. Meanwhile, Oleksiejczuk dos Santos is coming off a draw to Rinat Fakhretdinov, which is kind of insane to me. Oleksiejczuk dos Santos, I think, is pretty solid. The main thing about him is he's a pit bull. He's coming at you. He's trying to knock you out. Despite having gone the distance all the way up till 2019, he still is trying to knock you out, and he's got power. Though, to be fair, the Benoit Saint Denis fight should have been stopped. The ref got removed from the event because the fight wasn't stopped. But he's just going at you. He's got tons of power. He's got pretty good striking. Not the best, but pretty good. Randy Brown, on the other hand, is very patient. He is a sniper, and he can frustrate guys with his longer reach. Look at that reach advantage of 5 inches. It may not be the most exciting, especially knowing that Randy Brown really can go. He really can press, and he can knock you out. It's just that most of the time he fights safe. He fights behind his long jab, keeps the body, and he has really good movement. I could see a lot of lateral movement, which could frustrate Solecki dos Santos. He could kind of play, Randy Brown himself could kind of play the bull, matador to Solecki dos Santos' bull. I don't think the grappling is going to be much of a problem for Randy Brown. Solecki dos Santos, not a great grappler. He doesn't really go for it at much. It looks like, according to statistics, Randy Brown goes for it more than that. I don't remember Randy Brown ever shooting takedowns, but I'm going to be going with Randy Brown. I'm going to be going for him to get it by decision as well, too. Lots of decisions. I picked so many decisions. I even changed one of the ones I had, which is KO, and I changed it to decision. Ugh. But yeah, I'm going to be going with Randy Brown to get it by decision. I think he's going to be the longer and sharper fighter. And now we have, we're already on the main card, right? Yeah, okay, we're already on the main card. Brown versus Dos Santos is a main card opener? Wow. Okay, well, we're on to Jailton Almeida versus Alexander Romanov. I have a slide for this. So this is going to be a heavyweight matchup. Almeida is going to be 32 years of age, 20 wins, 3 losses, 7 knockouts, 12 submissions, 6'3" in terms of height, orthodox stance, 79-inch reach, advantage, a 6.88 takedown average, a 73.12% significant strike accuracy, minus 280 favorite. Significant over Derek Lewis, Jairzinho frozen strike, Shamil Aburakadimov. I struggle so much with that. Antoine Turkajali. I also struggle with Antoine's name. Forget you, Antoine. The freaking pleasure man. There we go. Alexander Romanov is 33 years of age, 17 wins, 2 losses, 6 knockouts, 9 submissions, 6'2" in terms of height, southpaw, 75-inch reach, disadvantage, a 4.06 takedown average, a 57.89% significant strike accuracy, and plus 230 underdog. He has significance over Blagovoy, Ivanov, and Chase Sherman. 1. I don't know why people say Almeida's boring. I don't get it. You weren't excited by his last fight where he got knocked out by Blades, where he was taking him down and throwing him down and beating him up. Okay, cool. Yeah, the Lewis fight was boring. Beyond that, do you see that? Do you see how many wins he has by decision? Yeah, he has 1 win by decision. Is that not exciting for you? I guess not. I like Almeida. Romanov, I don't like Romanov. He comes in chunky. I don't know why he comes in chunky. But the thing is, the main thing that really worries me about this fight is the size for Romanov. He's big. Almeida, I stand by it. He's one of the smaller heavyweights. I'm surprised. His fight against the Pleasure Man was at light heavyweight, but since then he's moved up to heavyweight, and he does really good against out of shape chunky heavyweights. Even though Jairzinho Frozen Strike is a world-class elite kickboxer, he's still a chunky heavyweight. And guess what Romanov is? A chunky heavyweight. So I think Almeida, this should be easy for him. I just don't know if Romanov, if he stops his takedown and gets on top of him, it's going to be bad. And Jailton Almeida has really bad fight IQ when he starts getting hit with power shots, which Romanov could hit, because he had really good fight IQ when he was fighting, like, say, Jairzinho Frozen Strike and Shamil. But when he was fighting Blades and he felt the power blades, all that, like, good fight IQ just went out the window. So that could be something as a worry. But other than that, I think this should be an easy fight for Almeida. I'm tentatively wanting to put him as my lock. I'll keep it like that, but I'll also update y'all if I change it. But I think Almeida should definitely get it done. And I definitely think he'll get it done in the distance. Stop thinking it'll be a boring decision. Yeah, there's no way it's going to be a decision. Almeida by submission is definitely what I feel is going to be happening. I want to look at something. I'm not sure. The 2 losses Romanov had, they were by decision, right? KO and decision. So he's never been knocked. He's never been submitted. I think this is the first time for everything, and I think Almeida is going to submit him. So next fight is going to be Kevin Holland versus Michal Oleksiejczuk. Somewhat short notice. I don't know why they keep doing this with Kevin Holland fights. They keep just drawing him on the card. Which, to be fair, the card kind of needed it because, in case you couldn't tell, well, there's a lot of fights where I just really wasn't excited for. This is not that good a card. It's really a shame, too, because, you know, you have your premier division, the lightweight division, and potentially a GOAT. I'll talk more about that in a little bit. But wherever the case is, Kevin Holland versus Michal Oleksiejczuk. Kevin Holland's going to be 31 years of age, 25 wins, 11 losses, 13 knockouts, 8 submissions, 6'3" in terms of height, orthodox stance. 81-inch reach advantage. My dear God, Holland. 0.85 takedown average, a 61.31% significant strike accuracy, a -250 favorite. Significant wins over Michael Chiesa, Santiago Ponzinibbio, Tim Means, and Cowboy Oliveira. Michal Oleksiejczuk is going to be 29 years of age, 19 wins, 7 losses, 14 freaking knockouts, 1 submission, 6 foot in terms of height, southpaw stance, 74-inch reach disadvantage, a 0.75 takedown average. This fight's mainly going to be fought on the feet, in case you can tell. A 55.75% significant strike accuracy, plus 205 underdog. Significant wins over Chi Bang Bang. I can't ever say his name. Njokuani. Cody Brundage and Sam Alvey. Why did I put Sam Alvey as a significant win? Hell, Cody Brundage is a shit win too, but why did I put Sam Alvey? What was I thinking? I made this at like 3 in the morning last night, and I'm sitting there going, why did you do that, Gomi? Regardless, I don't like the odds for that. I think Kevin Holland will win, but I'm not -250 sure he's gonna win. I think it should be a pick'em. I think it should absolutely be a pick'em. Michal Oleksiejczuk, guess what he has? In case you couldn't guess what he has by looking at statistics, he has power. A ton of power. Kevin Holland still has power too, but my problem with Kevin Holland is I like Kevin Holland. I really did. Like pandemic era, if you were watching, dude, Kevin Holland was just a beast because you were like, oh, who's fighting? Oh, Kevin Holland's fighting. Let's see what happens. And it's a super exciting, great fight. Like, that's the thing about pandemic Kevin Holland is he just fought and fought and fought and fought, and it was good. They were all good fights. The Fluffy Hernandez fight, the Buckley fight, Ontiveros fight was brutal, absolutely brutal. And then the Souza knockout, a lot of people like the Buckley kick as the best knockout of the year in that year, 2020. I like the Souza knockout, how he just knocked him out from the bottom, stood on top of him, just railed punches. I really like Kevin Holland. The problem with him is lately, Kevin Holland, ever since I want to say ever since the Wonder Boy fight, like, he hasn't been the same. Like, yeah, he picked up the really good wins against Ponzinibbio and Michael Chiesa. I got to see the Ponzinibbio fight firsthand. Chiesa and Ponzinibbio are not good. I know Chiesa was ranked. He should have never been ranked. He's not that good. The JDM fight I thought was going to be fight of the year. It was a split decision, yeah, but it was a split decision because JDM just really couldn't hit Holland, and Holland didn't want to hit JDM, and then Holland just did not look good in the Michael Venom Page fight, but not because Holland like fought weird. He fought the same way he's fighting his last like 5 fights. It just MVP outclassed him, just schooled him, took him to school. But Michal Oleksiejczuk is not doing that. Michal Oleksiejczuk is a very flat-footed, one-dimensional fighter with a ton of power. I do like seeing him knock people out, and the fact that he knocked out Chidi in 1 round is very, very impressive. But I'm not going to take anything away from losing against Michel Pereira. He lost to middleweight Michel Pereira, who is an absolute force of nature. There's nothing wrong with that. But I could also see Kevin Holland, if he shows up how he did back in his his middleweight days, which, keep in mind, he's re-debuting at middleweight. He's coming back to middleweight. If he fights Michal Oleksiejczuk like how he did back when he was a middleweight, he can absolutely destroy him. Michal Oleksiejczuk is not going to be grappling him. That's the only thing that Kevin Holland really struggles with is grappling. Kevin Holland, I think, should be able to beat the piss out of Michal Oleksiejczuk, but he has to be worried about the power. But Holland always has a really good chin. Like, the last time he got knocked out, wasn't it when he got... No, he wasn't even knocked out. It was against Kyle Dawkins, where he got headbutted to oblivion. Other than that... Oh, I forgot. Wonder Boy's Dr. Stoppage. I forgot. Or corner stoppage. I don't know. I'm going to be taking Kevin Holland tentatively. I'm going to also be taking Kevin Holland by, yes, another decision. I'm taking decision for Kevin Holland again, mainly because I don't, like, if we see old middleweight Kevin Holland, finish. submission or knockout. And I think submission is very likely because Oleksiejczuk, he really only loses by submission. But if this is current Kevin Holland, I think decision is more likely. But don't be surprised if Oleksiejczuk picks up a W via decision. And now on to the co-main event of the evening. Sean Strickland will be taking on Paulo Costa. We are in active Costa era, dude. It has been 3 months since Costa's last fight. Oh my god, when's the last time we had 2 Costa fights in a year? I really wonder. 1 year. So he fought 1 year in 2022. He didn't fight at all in 2023. I thought the Rockhold fight was in 2023. He fought once in 21, once in 20, once in 19, once in 18. 2017. 2017 is the last time we got multiple Paulo Costa fights, and we had 3. Oh man. Oh man. Also, a new curse has not been formed but discovered, by the way, which I'll go over it in the main event. But yes, let's break down this fight. Middleweight bout, Sean Strickland versus Paulo Costa. Middleweight bout, 33 years of age for both fighters, by the way, so we'll not go over that set again for Costa. 28 wins, 6 losses for Strickland, 11 knockouts, 4 submissions. My god, that's not many finishes, but okay. 6'1" in terms of height, orthodox stance, 76-inch reach advantage, a 0.85 takedown average, a 43.77% significant strike accuracy, minus 225 favorite. Significant wins over Israel Adesanya, Nasruddin Imavov, Jack Hermanson, and Uriah Hall. Paulo Costa is going to be 14-3, 11 knockouts, 1 submission, 6'1" in terms of height, orthodox stance, 72-inch reach advantage, a 0.45 takedown average, a 59.88% significant strike accuracy, plus 185 underdog. Significant wins over Luke Rockhold, Yoel Romero, and also Uriah Hall. I put Uriah Hall in there because it's a common opponent for both fighters. But that's just not a good wins for either of them, to be honest with you. The Izzy win is the best win. That's a great win. That's a legendary status win. Imavov, I guess. Hermanson, I guess. Hall, really. Then for Paulo Costa, Luke Rockhold. By decision, you couldn't even knock him out. Yoel Romero, it's really good, but Yoel Romero's old, and that was, what, in 2019? Yeah, 2019. Jesus freaking Christ. Yeah, I don't know. Costa's inactivity is going to catch up to him. It's been catching up to him. He's literally one win in his last 4. Yeah, and one of those fights is his fight against Izzy, which was 4 years ago. Jesus Christ, what did Izzy do this, man? I don't know. I like active Costa, though, and I feel like he might surprise us. But Strickland has really found into his rhythm. And the thing to keep in mind is that this is indeed a 5-round fight, and Strickland, I could easily see him just doing a boring jab fest for the entirety of the 5 rounds. I will be honest with you, I do not like Strickland at all. He just is a guy who could go out there and just act like a savage, and he talks like he is, but in actuality, he is far more boring than Israel Adesanya ever was, and you are trying to convince yourself otherwise if you really think that. The most exciting fights he's had have been the fight against Magomed, what's his name? Abus Magomedov and Brendan Allen. Beyond that, the Dricus Duplessis fight was not good. I'm sorry. And the Israel Adesanya fight outside the first round was boring. It was awful, where neither guy really did anything, but Strickland just did more than Israel Adesanya. But at the end of the day, though, it just proves that Strickland's damn good at doing that. He's damn good at jabbing from a distance. He can pepper you for 1-2 occasionally there, but he just needs to expand his arsenal. Paulo Costa actually has a path to victory in this fight, believe it or not. As crazy as that sounds, the Paulo Costa I saw that fought Robert Whittaker can beat this version of Strickland. He just needs to be worried about the jabs in the 5 rounds. Those jabs could piece Costa up. It really could. I could absolutely see some swelling under his eye and make it just hard from the fight, much like the Dricus Duplessis fight. But the thing is, Costa is a volume guy. He is not a power puncher. Costa is a guy of volume. He definitely has more power than Strickland, but he also has way more volume than him. He throws and throws and throws, hooks and combinations. The little T-Rex arms, even though that's the same reach I have, can be an issue, and Strickland can keep him at distance. But if Costa is throwing that, those spinning heel hook kicks too, like, I don't know why Izzy did not throw more head kicks, honestly. I really don't. I don't know why. Dricus du Plessis threw a few, and that was very successful for him, but he should have thrown more. But really, body kicks and head kicks are the main thing. Strickland has proven that his leg kick defense has been vastly improved, and that is not the way you're going to take him out. Costa can go for takedowns as well, too. I just don't know how effective it's going to be, because Strickland, he is a black belt. He has not gotten a submission since his UFC debut, but still, I don't know. I'm going to be leaning towards Paulo Costa. I think it'll be very similar to the Dricus du Plessis fight, but I really hope Costa looks at that fight and realizes that Dricus du Plessis could have had even more success had he just went, had he just go, had he just fought, had he just throw everything he had at him. If he kept doing that like Costa can do, I could see him beating up Strickland. I don't know if he'll knock him out, but I could see decision. Now, you may be calling that crazy, being a 5-round fight, but Costa's fought 5 rounds before. He fought 5 rounds against Vitorian. They broke the record for most strikes in the light heavyweight. Yes, as a light heavyweight, by the way. But they broke the record for most amount of strikes thrown in a light heavyweight bout. So I'm going to be taking tentatively Paulo Costa by decision. That is my only dog I believe I've taken this night, and it's plus 200. So I don't know. I think Costa can do it, and I'd like to see him do it. I want to see active Costa. I want to be a fan of Costa, but I just can't get over the ducking and the not fighting people and the canceling fights. I just can't get over that. And there's even a chance the fight doesn't happen, by the way, because Strickland said Costa didn't even sign the bout agreement. So that was a week ago. So I don't know. Give me Costa by decision. And on to the main event of the evening. This is by far the best fight on the card. The fight I'm most excited for. The fight I'm most hyped for. This is a great fight, but I freaking hate this fight. I hate it. I hate it. I love it. I hate it. It's going to be a great, amazing matchup, but I don't want either guy to lose. I really don't. But I don't want... I don't know. Let's break down this beautiful fight. Islam Makhachev is going to be defending his lightweight title against Dustin Poirier. Islam's going to be 32 years of age, 25 wins, 1 damn loss. God damn it, Ricky Martins. Or Alessandro Pantoja if you want to go with the meme. 5 knockouts, 11 submissions, 5'10 in terms of height, southpaw stance, 70.5 reach disadvantage, a 3.17% 3.17 takedown average. I don't know why my brain gave out on me. A 72.44% significant strike accuracy, minus 600 favorite. Significant wins over Alexander Volkanovski twice, Charles Oliveira, Bobby Green, and Dan Hooker. Dustin Poirier is going to be 35 years of age, 30 wins, 8 losses, 16 knockouts, 7 submissions. My God. 5'9 in terms of height, southpaw stance, a southpaw versus southpaw matchup. A 72-inch reach advantage, a 1.33 takedown average, a 55.15% significant strike accuracy, plus 400 underdog, significant wins over Benoit Saint-Denis, Michael Chandler, Conor McGregor times 2, and Dan Hooker. Wow. Can we just talk about that accuracy for Islam Makhachev? It's been going up. I've been covering Makhachev on this channel since 280. And I remember praising a significant strike accuracy, which I think was like 69% or something like that. Dustin at 55.15, that is good. That is very, very good. Because you look at other guys, like 61 for Holland is good. 43 for Strickland. And in 55 for Dustin, that's good. Islam? 72? Like, you're like that's very impressive. And then you think, oh well, it's because it's ground strikes, right? It's because it's all ground strikes. Yeah, he has a higher percentage of standing. His strikes are primarily standing. Standing strikes 50% and clinch 50%, 21%. His ground strikes is 29%. Yeah, that's really good. which leads me into my thing about Islam Makhachev. A lot of people think, oh, he's just Khabib. He is he's similar to Khabib, but he's a better striker. He has more of a focus on striking. He beat Alexander Volkanovski in both those fights with striking. Like, that's the thing. Like, he was rocking him in the first fight, and he knocked him out in the second fight standing. His striking is very good, and I think he's the most efficient striker in the lightweight division. I think Dustin Poirier is probably the best, but I think the most efficient is Islam Makhachev. Why do I make a distinction between best and efficient? Well, the reason being is because striking goes hand in hand in terms of offense and defense. Islam Makhachev has a 62% significant strike defense, 53% for Dustin Poirier. Essentially, Islam has one of the best striking differentials, landing 2.46 significant strikes and only taking 1.27. Dustin's landing 5, yes, but he's taking 4. Islam's strike differential is the best in the lightweight division. That's scary. That's very, very scary. Because we're talking all striking. Dustin, I think, is a better striker, but not by much. Not by a ton. Like, it'd probably be like Dustin, Gaethje, Islam. Because that's the thing too. Grappling now. Let's talk about grappling. BJJ, Dustin's really good, but his wrestling is poor because of his hips. Islam Makhachev has insane BJJ and insane wrestling. He has the best wrestling in BJJ in the division. You're probably going to say, no, Charles has the best BJJ. No, Islam submitted him. So no, it's Islam. It's like, that's just insanity to me. You're going up against the best guy in 2 of the 3 aspects of combat, and then he's number 3 in the aspect that you're the best in. That's a nightmare matchup for Dustin Poirier. Keep in mind, Dustin Poirier, there's also a key avenue for Islam Makhachev to win that's been done before. Is Dustin Poirier in his 2 title shots against Charles Oliveira and Khabib Nurmagomedov, he lost the same way. Rear naked choke in the 3rd round, giving up his back. Like, if Islam gets Dustin down, I don't trust Dustin's get-up game. His get-up game is not good. He'll hold position and lose the round like he did against Charles Oliveira, or he'll try to get up and he'll get submitted like Khabib did. It's bad. And the thing is, too, Charles Oliveira did a really good job of softening up Dustin Poirier with the knees to the midsection. That's something Islam did very good in his second fight against Alexander Volkanovski. And his fight against Charles Oliveira. The knees to midsection will be a problem. So Dustin Poirier absolutely can win this fight. He absolutely can. It's hard. It's hard. There's a lot playing against his favor, but the main thing Dustin has in it is he has the southpaw matchup. Dustin Poirier eats up southpaws. He does very good against them. His check hooks are extremely good when every fight's a southpaw. Islam Makhachev is going to be wise and privy to that, and Islam is not someone who just underestimates his opponent, but that's the thing. Dustin has some tools. His leg kicks, his calf kicks are going to open up more, but that can lead him to get taken down, so he has to be careful with those. The straight left of Islam is a weapon that I feel is very not looked at, and his left high kick. His left high kick is a very good weapon, and being in these same stances, the left high kick can be even better of a weapon. Dustin Poirier needs a knockout. Dustin Poirier, the gilly can work, I guess. He got close on Khabib, but no. Dustin Poirier needs a knockout, and he can get it done. I believed in him against Benoit Saint Denis. I don't think I'm going to believe in him, to be honest with you, against Islam Makhachev. But who knows? Who knows? I also would like to mention now, why is this on the New Jersey card? This is such a legendary fight because this is a premier division. If Islam wins this fight, he has the most held defenses at lightweight, and he'll have the 3rd longest win streak in the entirety of the UFC, only behind Anderson Silva and Kamaru Usman. And they just put it as a random New Jersey card. Like, what the hell are we doing, UFC? What the hell? You should be treating Islam a little bit more respect, man. This should have been for International Fight Week, and Conor versus Chandler should have been on the New Jersey card. But I digress. This is a big fight. This should be a really good fight. I definitely think no matter what, even if Dustin loses, I think it's going to be a good fight that we will see like potentially fight at night. Unless Islam is just a level above what we even think, so he just knocks him out like cold like he did against Volkanovski. But I don't think that'll happen. I think Dustin is too good of a fighter for that to happen. I think Dustin is probably he used to be, in my opinion, the third best lightweight of all time, but now he's probably dropped to 4 or 5, man. But whatever the case is, I think Dustin is one of the best fighters in the lightweight division, and he is a legend. Now, for the fun stuff, curses. Yes, there are 2 curses at play that are battling each other. There's also the not curse but buff, where Dustin's never lost in June. He's 6-0 in June. I don't give a shit about that. But whatever the case is, there's the 35-year-old curse and the Costa curse. As you see, Dustin is 35 years of age. Title fights, they're 2 and 39 at that age. Yeah, it's changed actually, because if you're including the BMF belt, Gaethje was 35. My buddy told me that, and I was like, dude, it's a BMF belt. It's not a real belt. The curse doesn't apply. It applied. It applied. That's going to be hard for Dustin to beat that curse. Granted, it's been beaten at welterweight. At lightweight, no, never. But at welterweight, Tyron Woodley beat it twice. And he's the only one. That's why they're 2 and 39. So, I don't know. And then, for Islam Makhachev, the curse going against him is the Costa curse. Because, funny enough, absolutely funny enough. Yeah, for Paulo Costa. Every pay-per-view Paulo Costa has been a part of, except for the one he headlined, the champion has lost their belt. So this was 298. In 298, Volkanovski lost his belt. This right here, I don't remember what number, but this is where Leon Edwards beat Usman. This is where Miocic lost to Stipe, and this is where Stipe lost to Miocic. Which was the... Oh, and then this was a triple threat. This is a triple threat. This is 217, if I remember correctly. Yeah. Yeah, this is 217. Where Bisping, Garbrandt, and Joanna lost their belts. So triple threat, baby. Yeah, that's... I believe the number is 0 and 8. So that's a curse going against Islam. Is Islam going to be able to break the Costa curse? If he breaks the Costa curse, he's going to jump into the top 10 of all time. Getting a third longest win streak in the UFC and breaking the Costa curse, that's some legendary shiza right there. So it's a battle of the curses, battle of the legends, battle of the old versus kind of new. Not really Islam. He's actually been in the UFC for a bit. Whatever the case is, this is a top tier matchup, and it should be a very good one. It sucks that the rest of the card I don't think is that good. Like a lot of people are excited for Strickland Costa. You're just excited to watch Strickland go on the mic. Actuality, that fight is a high chance it's gonna suck. But Makhachev Poirier, that's almost a guaranteed fight of the night, and I'm excited for it. So once again, this has been your boy Gomi. Let me know what you think in the comment sections down below. This has been UFC 302. Bye bye.